So my question is about how to address performance anxiety issues. More specifically, I have no problem with the wife. Have no problem staying hard with the wife until she gets on top. Ironically, it's her favorite position. I go soft almost immediately. It happened once, and she was so bummed out that it poisoned me from that moment on. How can I change my mindset? It's such a great question. So performance anxiety is playing into this, at least after you've experienced it. It probably before too, but at least after, because it poisoned you, right? So now you're worried about it because she did not respond well to you losing your erection. And if there are women watching this, it's really important to keep that in mind. Okay, particularly if your man is trying to please you and he's trying to help you. If he loses your erection, you can see here, there's so much involved in your erection. Okay, it probably has nothing to do with you. It has to do with something else. Okay, and when you respond negatively like that, all it does is increase this and makes him want to avoid sex. So it's just something to keep in mind. It would be like it would be like him saying something, like, why aren't you getting wet enough? Or why does it take you so long to get an orgasm? Okay, is that going to make it more likely that you're going to get wetter or have more orgasms? Or is it going to make it less likely? Is it going to make it harder for you to do that, more difficult for you to do that? Same thing with men. You start getting that anxiety in, and for men, it's even worse because it's so visual. It's so it's it's difficult to perform with the penis if it goes flaccid, right? So it's even more of a problem with us when it comes to performance. So just something to keep in mind is, particularly if you got a guy who's trying to please you, keep that in mind. Be gentle. Okay, sometimes the penis doesn't work the way we want it to, and having an understanding partner can help tremendously with that. But let's talk about this for a second, because there may be more than just performance anxiety here. In fact, what this could be as well is something that's called positional dependent erectile dysfunction. So what can happen if we go back over here to the blood flow alpha inhibitor? I talked about before fascia, which is a connective tissue in the body, as well as muscle tension. Okay, that can be unbalanced in the body. You can have part of your body, maybe from a trauma you had, that these fascial restrictions are stronger on one side than the other, or in certain parts of the body, there's more restrictions than others, and they can clamp down on the blood vessels. And the thing is that this tension can change depending on the position you're in. So for instance, if you are on top, okay, you may not have that fascial restriction. It may be relieved, because that belly's coming out, right? Plus the blood flow is naturally going to the penis because of gravity. You're up this way, blood's going down into the penis. The fascial restriction has been released if it's there, right? But maybe you have a fascial restriction that prevents or at least decreases the blood flow when you're on your back. Okay, that could be part of it too. So there can be some positional erectile dysfunction. But when you get a negative reaction, right, now you got this on top of that as well. So now you got both going on. All right. So that's why it's important to talk with your partner. Say if your partner does something like that, just be honest with her. Say, I know this is your favorite position. I really want to do this with you, but it's difficult when you respond negatively to it, because then I just get anxious. And once I get anxious and feel like I have to perform, it makes it that much more difficult to perform. And then you could show her this video, this training. So she understands the impact point matrix. She understands how much is really involved with your sexual performance, which can help a lot. But in addition to that, so there may be some positional erection positional dependent erectile dysfunction going on, which we can address with certain fascial releases and that type of stuff. So to get the blood flow going well to where maybe that won't be a problem anymore. But there can also be an arousal issue here. You may not that just might not be your thing, with her on top. That may not arouse you that much. And that fact that you're not that aroused, you start losing your erection, right? Because there's really no erection in a sexual situation unless you're aroused. All right. That's morning wood where that happens, not in a sexual situation. You got to be aroused. So one way you can address that, because to be honest with you, this is also woman on top. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's not my favorite either. So what I will do in that situation, because I like pretty dominant sex. I like kind of primal, animalistic kind of sex. And when she's on top, it's a little bit it's a little difficult to get into that mindset. So I'll do some of the things I like. Like for instance, she'll be on top, but I'll grab the back of her hair. So I've got control of her head. So hair pulling for me is a huge arousal trigger. I am very aroused when I do hair pulling. It's one of my favorites, right? It really gets me going. So she's on top. Now I've got her hair. I've got her control. I'm saying stuff to her, dirty talk. I'm making my noises, I'm into it. Now I'm aroused. Now that's going to help a lot. So, and that may not be your thing, maybe spanking her, slapping her ass, or whatever it is that turns you on in that position. See if you can incorporate things that arouse you more in that situation, and that may really help. And then once again, that last chance mindset we talked about before, so important. With any sexual situation, going into that, knowing it may be your last time, that will help a lot too in keeping you immersed and aroused. But try amping this up more. That should help quite a bit. All right. Now let's go to the next one.
To get exclusive training on the impact point matrix that you can't find anywhere else at any price, click the link below to join our free video series on IPM, giving you a deep understanding of the ecosystem behind your erections so you can truly start mastering your stage 4 rock hard erections and lasting power today. And for a limited time, when you sign up today, you will also get free access to the complete Impact Point Matrix Power Training, which is normally only available to our Inner Circle members. A $97 value for free that you can only get right here. So click the link below right now to get this invaluable training while it's still available for free, and start mastering your erections and lasting power right now. I'll see you on the other side.